Imagine you could reset your mind in just 3 minutes, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, a way to let go of stress, sharpen your focus, and feel at peace. All through something you're already doing every second of your life, breathing. Pause, look around slowly. The question is not if you're breathing. The question is, are you breathing with awareness? Most people go through life taking about 20,000 breaths each day, yet never once do they pause to notice them. Breathing becomes automatic, just like walking, blinking, or digesting food. But here is the paradox. What is most essential to life is also what we ignore the most. We treat the breath as background noise rather than the main melody, and in doing so, we miss one of the most accessible gateways to calmness, focus, and control over our inner world. The power of breathing does not come from the act itself. We are already doing it. The power comes from awareness. When you breathe with awareness, the quality of your breath changes, and as the quality of your breath changes, the quality of your mind begins to change too. Think of a time when you were stressed. Your breath was shallow, fast, almost trapped in your chest. That was not a conscious choice. It was your body responding to the pressure it felt. Now think of a moment of deep peace, maybe after waking up on a quiet morning, or sitting by the ocean, or holding someone you love. Your breath in those moments was slower, deeper, flowing without effort. The difference between these two states shows us something crucial. The breath reflects the mind, but more than that, the breath also shapes the mind. If your breathing changes when your mood changes, then by deliberately changing your breathing, you can influence your mood, your focus, even your thoughts. Awareness is the lever that makes this possible. Modern science has confirmed what ancient traditions taught centuries ago, that conscious breathing activates powerful changes in the brain and body. When you pay attention to your breath and slow it down, you activate the vagus nerve, which runs from the brain to many vital organs. This nerve is like a messenger that tells your body you are safe, you can relax now. Immediately, your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your body leaves the stress-driven state known as fight or flight. In its place, the rest and restore system switches on. With consistent practice, this doesn't just bring temporary calm, it rewires the brain. Pathways associated with stress weaken, while pathways associated with calmness and clarity strengthen. Breathing with awareness is not just relaxation. It is literally reprogramming the operating system of your mind. Awareness in breathing also builds presence. Too often, our attention is scattered. We are in the past, replaying mistakes, or we are in the future, worrying about what may come. Rarely are we fully in the now, but the breath is always in the now. You cannot breathe yesterday's breath. You cannot breathe tomorrow's breath. You can only breathe this one. So every time you bring awareness to your inhalation and your exhalation, you anchor yourself in the present. And in that present, life feels different, fuller, richer, more real. This is why awareness in breathing is not just a health tool. It is a path back to living instead of just existing. Let me illustrate with a simple example. Imagine you are about to give a presentation and you feel nervous. Your palms sweat, your thoughts race, your stomach tightens. This is the body in stress mode. If you stay in that state, your words may falter, your focus may slip. But what if, just before stepping on stage, you pause, close your eyes for a moment, and take 3 slow, deep, conscious breaths. Inhale deeply into your belly, exhale slowly through your mouth. In those few seconds, your heart steadies, your mind slows, and you reclaim control over yourself. Nothing outside has changed. The room, the audience, the expectations all remain the same, but your internal state has shifted because you became aware of your breath. That awareness is a superpower available to you at any moment. Awareness also transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Eating a meal can be mechanical, or it can be mindful. Walking can be a rush from one place to another, or it can be a meditation. The difference is whether you are aware of the rhythm of your breath as you move, eat, or speak. By adding breath awareness to everyday actions, you begin to live more fully. Instead of drifting unconsciously through your day, you become the author of your own rhythm. You choose calm over chaos, clarity over confusion. And it all begins with noticing the most fundamental act you are already doing, breathing. The human brain is often compared to a computer, but that comparison is incomplete. A computer executes commands exactly as programmed without change. The brain, however, is adaptive. It learns, grows, and rewires itself depending on what you repeatedly do. Scientists call this ability neuroplasticity. Every habit, every repeated thought, every action strengthens certain neural pathways while weakening others. In this sense, your brain is being rewired all the time, whether you realize it or not. The question is, what are you wiring it for? If your daily habits are full of stress and tension, you are training your brain to be better at stress. But if your daily habits include conscious breathing, you are training your brain to be better at calmness, focus, and clarity. Let us understand why the breath has such a powerful influence on the brain. Breathing is unique. It is both automatic and voluntary. Your heart beats without permission. Your digestion happens without awareness, but breathing is different. You can let it happen unconsciously, or you can take control of it consciously. This bridge between the automatic and the deliberate gives breathing its power. When you choose to slow down and deepen your breath, you are tapping into the part of your nervous system that governs relaxation, the parasympathetic nervous system. This system acts like a brake on stress, slowing the rush of cortisol and adrenaline, quieting the mind, and restoring balance in the body. One of the most important players in this process is the vagus nerve, a long nerve that runs from the brainstem to the abdomen, touching the heart, lungs, and digestive organs along the way. Every time you exhale slowly, the vagus nerve carries a signal back to your brain. You are safe, you can relax. Over time, repeated signals strengthen new pathways in the brain, stress circuits in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system become less dominant. At the same time, regions like the prefrontal cortex, which govern focus, decision making, and self-control, become more active. In simple terms, breathing patterns literally reshape the wiring of your brain to make you calmer, clearer, and more resilient. Consider what this means in daily life. Imagine someone who reacts with frustration at every small problem. The car in traffic, the email from work, the comment from a stranger, each one sets off a wave of irritation. That person's brain has been wired over years to react in this way. Now imagine another person who responds with patience, who takes a breath before replying, who remains calm even under pressure. This is not magic. This is wiring. Through practices like the 3-minute breathing ritual, the brain learns new responses. The reflex of anger or fear weakens, while the reflex of calm strengthens. The person does not just act calmer, they become calmer. Modern research supports this transformation. Studies show that just a few weeks of consistent breathing exercises increase heart rate variability, a key measure of resilience and emotional regulation. Brain scans reveal that regular practitioners of slow, mindful breathing show reduced activity in the amygdala and increased connectivity in networks associated with attention and self-awareness. In other words, conscious breathing is not a temporary trick. It is a tool to change the architecture of the brain itself. You are no longer at the mercy of your emotions. You are guiding the brain to serve you better. This is why a 3-minute ritual is so much more than relaxation. It is training, Just as lifting weights shapes your muscles, breathing with awareness shapes your brain. Each inhale and exhale is like a repetition, carving new grooves into the mind. Over time, those grooves become pathways, and those pathways become highways. And when stress arises, instead of spiraling into panic, your brain naturally takes the calm highway it has practiced so many times. This is how 3 minutes of breathing rewires not only your brain, but also your life. The beauty of the 3-minute ritual is in its simplicity. In a world where people are overwhelmed with complicated techniques, endless advice, and quick fixes, this ritual cuts through the noise. It asks nothing of you but 3 minutes of attention and the willingness to pause. There are no tools to buy, no special place you need to be, no equipment to set up. You carry the practice with you wherever you go, because the only thing required, the breath, is always with you. When you understand this, you realize that peace and clarity are not distant goals. They are always available, waiting beneath the surface of your awareness. Let me describe the practice to you step by step. First, find a comfortable position. You can sit on a chair, on the floor, or even stand with your spine upright. The key is to allow your body to be relaxed yet alert, like a tree firmly rooted yet flexible. Gently close your eyes if that feels natural, or keep them half open with a soft gaze. Now, bring your attention inward. This small act of pausing is already powerful. You are telling your mind that for these 3 minutes, you are not rushing, not performing, not reacting. You are simply being. The structure of the breathing cycle is easy to remember. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds. As you inhale through your nose, imagine your breath traveling deep into your belly, filling your body with energy and expansion. Pause for 2 seconds, not forcing, but simply resting in stillness. Then release your breath slowly through your mouth, taking 6 seconds to let go. As the air leaves, imagine tension, worry, and noise flowing out with it. This single cycle lasts about 12 seconds. 5 cycles take you to the end of 3 minutes. That's it. The ritual is complete. Though simple, this cycle holds hidden depth. The slightly longer exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system, signaling relaxation and safety. The brief pause between inhaling and exhaling gives the mind a taste of silence, a gap in which awareness shines brighter. The rhythm itself, 4-2-6, mirrors the natural flow of balance, taking in, resting, letting go. And because the mind loves rhythm, repeating the cycle creates a calming effect, like a lullaby for your nervous system. The ritual is not only about air moving in and out. It is about teaching your brain to embrace stillness, rhythm, and release. Consider what happens as you practice this ritual regularly. At first, you may feel distracted. Thoughts may intrude, tasks to do, worries to solve, memories to replay. That is natural. The mind is like a restless puppy. It runs everywhere. But each time you return to the count of your breath, you are gently guiding it back to its leash. Over time, the puppy learns to stay closer. The wandering thoughts lose their grip. Focus strengthens. Calm becomes easier to access. This is why the ritual is not about perfection. It is about practice. The effort is not in holding the mind still, but in bringing it back again and again to the breath. 3 minutes may seem short, but think of it like planting seeds. Each ritual is a seed of calm placed in the soil of your day. One seed may not change a field, but many seeds together transform the landscape. 3 minutes in the morning creates a foundation of clarity. 3 minutes during stress helps you reset before reacting. 3 minutes before sleep allows your body to rest deeply. Bit by bit, these moments of awareness accumulate until calmness is no longer an occasional state. It becomes your way of being. That is the hidden power of the 3-minute ritual. It is small enough to begin immediately, yet powerful enough to transform your life when practiced consistently. Think of your brain like a busy computer. Every morning you switch it on, and as the day unfolds, more and more programs begin to run. Tasks from work, conversations with people, background worries, and constant notifications all open new tabs in your mental browser. By midday, the computer is overloaded, slowing, glitching, sometimes even freezing. The human brain is no different. When too many thoughts and emotions pile up without a pause, the system becomes sluggish. You feel scattered, anxious, or drained, but unlike a computer, your brain does not have an automatic reset button. It waits for you to provide one, and one of the simplest ways to reset is through conscious breathing. This 3-minute ritual acts like pressing Control plus Alt plus Delete for the mind. When you pause and begin to breathe with awareness, it's as if you are closing unnecessary tabs one by one. The noise of mental chatter fades. The heaviness of tension begins to lift. What remains is a lighter, clearer state of being. Many people assume they need a full day off, a long vacation, or some drastic escape to reset. But the truth is, even in the middle of chaos, a pause of 3 minutes can achieve what hours of distraction cannot, a genuine mental reset. It's not about escaping your responsibilities. It's about clearing the mental space needed to return to them with clarity. Let's understand why this reset is so effective. The brain operates in different wave states, ranging from high frequency waves during stress and multitasking to slower, calmer waves during relaxation and creativity. When you are overwhelmed, your brain is locked in a fast, frantic pattern. Like a car engine revving in high gear, conscious breathing slows the rhythm, guiding your brain into calmer wave states. This shift doesn't just feel good, it improves performance. In calmer states, the brain processes information more effectively, memory improves, and creativity flows. In other words, by resetting through the breath, you are not stepping away from productivity, you are enhancing it. Think of an athlete during competition. After intense effort, they often take a brief moment to catch their breath. That pause is not wasted time, it is essential recovery. Without it, they cannot perform at their best in the next round. The same principle applies to the mind. If you keep pushing without pause, mental fatigue accumulates and performance declines. But if you reset even briefly, you recharge your mental energy. The breathing ritual is that recovery moment for your brain. It prevents burnout not by adding more hours of rest, but by inserting small, intentional pauses that restore balance throughout the day. There is also an emotional dimension to this reset. When something upsetting happens, your body reacts instantly, heart racing, breath shortening, thoughts spiraling. This is the stress response at work. If left unchecked, it can dominate your entire day. But by stopping for 3 minutes and consciously breathing, you interrupt the spiral. You give yourself a chance to reset emotionally before reacting impulsively. Instead of snapping at a colleague, raising your voice at home, or drowning in worry, you reset. The moment changes not because the world outside is different, but because your internal state is different. The reset button allows you to respond from calmness instead of reactivity. Finally, consider how empowering this is. Most people feel they are at the mercy of circumstances. They believe stress comes from the outside, and peace must also come from the outside. But the breathing ritual reveals the opposite. Your reset button is always within. You don't need to wait for silence, for perfect conditions, or for external permission. Wherever you are, in traffic, in an office, in the middle of conflict, you carry the reset with you. This knowledge alone changes the way you live. You no longer feel trapped by the pace of the world. You know that in any moment, with 3 minutes of breathing, you can start again, refreshed and clear. That is the real power of having a reset button for the brain. When people first hear about a 3-minute breathing ritual, many dismiss it. They say, how can 3 minutes make a difference? Surely I need an hour of meditation, a full retreat, or a complex practice to see results. This belief is common but misguided. Transformation does not come from occasional intensity. It comes from regular consistency. Just as a single workout at the gym will not change your body, and one healthy meal will not change your health, a single moment of breathing will not rewire your brain. But repeated daily practice, small, steady, reliable, creates lasting change. The secret lies not in doing more, but in doing it consistently. The human brain thrives on repetition. Every time you perform an action, you strengthen the neural pathway associated with it, much like walking a trail through the forest. The first time you walk the trail, the path is rough and overgrown. But the more often you travel it, the clearer and easier it becomes. Soon, it is the natural route you take without thinking. Breathing rituals work the same way. Each day you return to your breath for 3 minutes, you are walking the path of calmness in your brain. At first, it feels unnatural, perhaps even forced. But with consistency, that path becomes well-worn, and eventually, it becomes the default route your mind chooses in times of stress. This is why consistency outweighs intensity. Many people push themselves into bursts of intense practice. An hour of meditation once a week, a long yoga session once a month. While these moments may feel profound, they are too scattered to rewire the brain effectively. It's like watering a plant with a bucket of water once every few weeks. The plant may survive, but it will not thrive. Instead, a little water every day allows it to grow strong and healthy. In the same way, 3 minutes of breathing daily nourishes your nervous system more effectively than rare bursts of effort. Consider the habit of brushing your teeth. No one expects perfect dental health from brushing once a week, no matter how thoroughly. The strength of the habit comes from its daily repetition. Over years, the small act prevents decay and protects your health. Breathing rituals function in the same way. They are not grand performances, but daily hygiene for the mind. By showing up consistently, even for just 3 minutes, you are protecting your mental clarity, strengthening emotional resilience, and maintaining balance. The small investment compounds into a powerful return over time. There is also a psychological effect to consistency. When you commit to a small, achievable ritual, you build trust with yourself. Each time you practice, you prove that you can honor your own promises. This strengthens self-discipline and confidence. On the other hand, when you rely on intensity, you often set goals that are too large, fail to meet them, and then reinforce doubt in yourself. Consistency removes that trap. 3 minutes is short enough that you have no excuse, yet long enough to create real change. Over time, the discipline of showing up daily becomes more valuable than the duration of each session. Finally, consistency builds momentum. What begins as 3 minutes may naturally grow into more. Once you taste the benefits of calmness, you may feel inspired to extend to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or longer. But even if you never extend, the foundation of 3 minutes practiced daily is enough. Remember, the brain does not care about the size of the practice, it cares about the repetition. Each day, each breath, each cycle builds upon the last, and before you realize it, calmness becomes second nature. You are no longer practicing peace, you are living it. That is the quiet strength of consistency over intensity. Breathing rituals are often misunderstood as something separate from daily living, like a special practice done in a quiet room, detached from the chaos of the world. But the true purpose of this ritual is not to escape life, it is to transform the way you live it. Breathing is the bridge between the inner and outer worlds. Each inhale draws in life, each exhale releases what no longer serves. When you learn to breathe with awareness, you are not just calming the mind in isolated moments. You are carrying that awareness into everything you do. In this way, the breath becomes not only a practice, but a way of life. Think about the power of emotions. A single angry word spoken without awareness can damage a relationship. A single moment of panic can cloud judgment and lead to poor decisions. These reactions often feel uncontrollable, as if they happen to us. But in truth, there is always a gap between stimulus and response. Most people never notice it because they are too busy reacting. Breathing awareness shines a light on that gap. When you pause, when you take even one conscious breath, you create space. In that space, you can choose patience over anger, clarity over confusion, wisdom over impulse. In this way, breath awareness is not just about the lungs. It is about the choices that shape your life. Carrying the ritual into daily living also means weaving it into ordinary moments. Walking to the store can become a meditation when you notice the rhythm of your steps with your breath. Eating can become more nourishing when you pause between bites to breathe consciously instead of rushing. Even conversations transform when you remain aware of your breathing. You listen more fully, you speak more thoughtfully. The breath reminds you that life is not just a series of tasks to complete, but experiences to inhabit. With awareness, the mundane becomes meaningful. Consider the challenges of modern life: constant distraction, overwhelming speed, unending pressure. Technology pulls your attention in 100 directions, and the pace of the world often feels impossible to match. Without tools, it is easy to become consumed by this current, carried along without control. But conscious breathing anchors you. No matter how fast the current flows, your breath becomes the steady ground beneath your feet. With each inhale and exhale, you remind yourself, I am here, I am present. I am not lost in the storm. This anchor allows you not only to survive the chaos, but to remain calm within it. There is also a deeper dimension to carrying breath awareness into life. Breath connects you with others. Every living being shares this invisible rhythm. When you breathe consciously, you become more attuned not only to yourself, but also to the people around you. Your calm presence influences them. A parent who breathes deeply in front of their child teaches calmness without words. A leader who pauses to breathe before making a decision creates trust in their team. In this way, the benefits of breath extend far beyond yourself. They ripple outward into your relationships, your work, and your community. Ultimately, the ritual teaches you this: mastery of the breath is mastery of the self. If you can guide your breathing, you can guide your emotions. If you can guide your emotions, you can guide your actions. And if you can guide your actions, you can guide the course of your life. This is why 3 minutes of breathing is not just a ritual, it is a rehearsal for living. Each inhale trains you to receive life fully. Each exhale trains you to let go gracefully. Each pause between them teaches you the value of stillness. Slowly, the boundaries between practice and life disappear. Breathing with awareness is no longer something you do. It becomes who you are. So, what does all of this mean for you? It means that the next time you feel restless, distracted, or weighed down by thoughts, you don't need to search for an external solution. The tool is already within you, your breath. 3 minutes might seem small, but it's enough to shift the quality of your mind, and when your mind changes, your entire world changes. Think about it: empires are built, relationships are healed, and creativity is unlocked, not in the rush of chaos, but in moments of clarity. If you can commit to just this one ritual, 3 minutes of conscious breathing, you will slowly begin to notice the rewiring of your brain. Stress won't control you, anger won't dominate you, and distractions won't scatter you. Instead, calmness will be your foundation, awareness your compass, and presence your greatest strength. So, I leave you with this: the next time your mind feels like a storm, don't fight it. Sit with it, breathe through it. 3 minutes is all it takes to remember that you are not a prisoner of your thoughts. You are the master of them. And once you realize that, your entire life begins to change.